Okay, we're talking running Xonthal's tower. Check out my previous videos for any other chapter. We're reaching the end of the whole Tyranny of Dragons debacle. Now, yes, we get these maps in the book. Luckily, I was running it years ago online during COVID, and I had to draw each one out for my players. So thank God I found these the other week, because that's going to be really helpful in this little episode, which will be split into two. Let's do the outside, the mazes, and then we'll do the next video inside the tower, if that's all right with you. Good. The village of Xonthal's tower itself, you should have the characters arrive and have, I would say, somebody doing a dry stone wall, a guy putting it together, people having a cup of coffee in a garden just over a low wall, somebody walking the dog, anybody commoner-wise who the characters can ask for details on what's going on over there. Or they might just walk right up to the gates, or they might check it out without wanting any clues. You've got the book. We keep away from that place. We don't let the kids go near. For long enough, there was no lights on. It was just a barren place, and we've seen the odd light on now and again. After stories of people being kicked out 100 years ago, my grandparents say. We know Xonthal was a wizard. Is he maybe a lich now? We just stay away. Some other NPC. What if there's a abomination in there? Something created by strong magic, and it's like on the loose inside. Best not to go near, mate. I've seen people go in, but rarely come out. Look at the animals. The birds won't fly over it. All the insects don't go over the hedge. It's a weird place. Strong magic. You get the idea. Or they can walk up to it, have a look at it. It looks, from the ground level, like a beautifully manicured garden, with the tower maybe 200 feet away. Stone's throw. A good stone's throw. Maybe not a stone's throw. From the edge of the tower gardens, they look up. On a balcony, right at the top, is a wizard. They saw you in the village. I've taken the mask, but they'll realise it's missing within minutes. Look for me beneath the tower, for it's the only place I have a chance to hide. This is the key that will teleport you into the dungeon. And he holds up an hourglass. I like to imagine him waving the blue dragon mask in his hands to show it's for real. And then like this guy comes up behind him, ching ching. He picks him up, throws him over the balcony. You get the idea. If you've got a character who flies or tries to, well, I'll just fly over the hedge. The maze, it's a maze. I'm not going to do the maze. I'll just fly over. The magic prevents them. They fly. They can fly over. Yeah, you fly over the hedge. And what did look like a beautifully manicured garden is now completely overgrown. They get a different viewpoint, but no matter how fast they fly towards the tower in the middle, they don't seem to be getting any closer. And then the next thing you know, it moves and they're plonked back with their friends. You can't cheat it. The laws of physics and dimensions bend. It's no good. You have to go through the challenges, the mazes. So there you are. The hedge walls are 8 foot tall. And even if you were a furbolg, a giant, or Goliath, whatever, you look over, yep, beautiful manicured gardens. You can't circumvent walking through the proper corridors. The game won't allow it. As you might have read, it's something you can see, and then you're weaving around these avenues, and weirdly, it's then on a different side. You seem to lose your directions. Some minutes it's like you're 5 minutes away. Some minutes you're 30 seconds away. Then it looms large in the distance. You have to do the challenges. The challenges being this. You always enter from E. Take a look at this. As I say, I was so glad that I found this again. First thing they encounter is this sundial. You explain the intersections, the 8 paths. The sundial is anchored to the ground, cannot be moved or shifted. Examining this sundial, now it's what I did, I made cards for it. Number 1, points to A. So, that seems obvious, okay? The sun might not be in the sky where it should point to A, but all characters need to do is go to A. They have passed number 1. The first time they go the wrong direction is when you bring in number 2. So they go to A, let's say, no problem. They come to the second sundial. The second sundial looks like this. The characters come in from E, and this sundial points to A and C. They might look for the sun, try and work out what the hell is going on. So I guess you might have some people go up A and some people go up C. That seems to be the obvious route. It's the wrong route. The correct route is B. B will bring them to the next sundial perfectly safely. If they stick together up here, they come to the third sundial. Anybody who comes down let's say they all go down different wrong routes, all paths converge back together, but at the first punishment, as it were, map 2. The Chull Pool. The closest thing I had to this was Warhammer Tyranids. Cool little figures. So, for Chull. They can see only like 1 foot of the top layers of water, so they don't know these things are in there. If the characters just say, nope, not having any of that, we're leaving, without getting the item in this pool, which think of it as like a key to pass, the garnet it's called, they just end up back again. So they have to, they're going to fight some of these, but the main thing is they get the garnet. As soon as they have the garnet, they can leave. They arrive from E to sundial number 3. Now they might get clever and start leaving things on the floor when they're trying to explore. If they leave marks, when they come back, it's gone. There's no marks. This is a different place. If they all drop all their bags here and walk off and end up back, I'd say their bags are gone. That was a stupid thing to do. If one of them says, I'll leave my bag here and leave, the bag stays there. They come back from E. No matter where they leave, they always come back from E. My bag didn't disappear. What's going on here? It's just a puzzle. This is, again, obviously the main clue. The correct answer for this is back on themselves. It just is. Okay. If they leave and go through any other wrong answer, they go on to the next challenge. So they come in from the very bottom. You emerge from the path into an area far larger than any other you expected. It looks like a boulder-strewn pasture with a large pond. Put some sheep grazing in this little fenced-off area. So up this end is 2 Cyclops. 2 Cyclopses? 2 Cyclopsi? Is that insensitive? They are frozen in, stone sort of thing. Your players, they eventually walk up or stupidly spell attack them or something. They don't appear to be carrying weapons. Get that across. They're not carrying weapons. When these guys are within 20 feet of them, 5, 10, 15, 20, they come alive and they're playing boulder toss. And it'll pick up. One of them picks up a boulder and hoiks it as far as he can. 100 foot. They only speak giant. They can fight the Cyclops if they wish, but that will not get them. They might kill them and leave. And they'll come back at the bottom of the bloody garden. And there'll be 2 new in stone Cyclops. You have to play the game. They must throw the boulder further than a Cyclops. Do a strength roll, but the Cyclops should have better strength, really. Then you come up with a cunning plan, like enlarge, reduce, or just to make it easy, roll a percentile dice, D100. Once the character throws the boulder more than the Cyclops roll, then well done, you can leave. Yeah, I forgot to mention, when you win, the boulder splits in 2 and there's a gem. That's the key. You'll end up at the next sundial. The next sundial I don't have the cutout for, but it points in an X formation. All 4 corners are pointed to. And the weird thing about this is they have to jump onto the sundial itself. They morph down and get plonked then at the final sundial that we'll talk about in a minute. But if they go down any of the wrong ones, they don't jump on the sundial, they're on to the next challenge. It's single file because there's simply not enough room to do anything but. So in the carnivorous garden, there is rows of plants. Each one has a pearl in that can be nabbed. If anyone takes a pearl, all of these things attack using the Otyugh stats. Take a pearl, get out of there. When they do the right thing, go through the 4th sundial by climbing on. Boop, plonked here. So this is where I misunderstood it when I first ran it. And that's why, because it said A to H, like A to H. So I thought it meant A and H, but now I realise it means literally every one is lit up, is shadowed. Right, so it looks like that, where every option could be correct. So this is a case that all the shadows point to every exit point. The weird thing is the right answer is between any of these, right in the corners of the hedges. If they go through any of the corner of the hedges, they are at the base of the tower. This bit is done. However, make another wrong move and you enter the next painful part. They come in from the top. A placid pool sits in the centre. A pagoda rises from a huge boulder. There's a little bridge to this area. There is a Dao, magically disguised as a human. So he's got like a cup of tea. He's making, this herbal tea. And the kettle is the Dao's magic jar. They might recognise the herbs used as a lethal concoction. If they jump the Dao and attack him, he goes invisible. He can do move earth to get himself out. Whether they do nothing or they start a fight, the earth comes up around the pagoda, sealing it in. The herbs are a toxic chemical which will start to suffocate or kill the players. They can break some of the walls. They can dump the kettle into a fire that it's warming on. So this noxious fume in the kettle can be plugged with something. You can break at the walls to get air holes in to breathe out of. If you damage the kettle, the Dao, magically like a genie to a lamp essentially, springs back into there, and like the lamp has like his face. The Dao will fight until it's got 45 hit points and then just disappear into the earth. Inside the kettle is a gemstone. You might have to make it glow in the spout or something to give them that clue. As soon as it all goes dark, there's a little light in the kettle. It's basically poison saves until they think of something. They could all die in there. Obviously try not to make that happen. As I say, there's a light in the kettle. The walls look like they have tiny cracks in them, but not all the way to the outside. If they take the gem, they can leave. If they don't take the gem, they get out, they end up back with this dude again. Each punishment replays until they get the thing they have to get. Now, of course, you might have a team who just go through sundial, one mistake, sundial, and they're through. But some might just be kamikaze and trying wrong thing after wrong thing, and that's why there's so many punishments. If they haven't got to the end yet, we'll go to this next punishment. They enter from the south. 6 suits of ornate plate mail stand in the area as if on guard. There's all sorts of weapons and armour bits scattered on the carpet in front of them. There's also moss on the armour. It remains free of rust though. Basically, 2 armour, attack. Attack. Right. Each time 1 is destroyed, you roll a d6. On a 6, the key rolls out on the floor, which is a bloodstone. But when 1 dies, also 2 more animate. When 1 dies, you roll a d6, but 2 more animate. Eventually, d6, no more to animate. d6. On the last one, there has to be the key, one way or the other. And then last punishment is the maze, Gorgon maze. Walking along, suddenly, whap, they are in a maze. Boom, this is a Gorgon maze. Now the players can see on my map that there is no way out. Effectively, they have to run around and, in initiative, fight the Gorgon till it's dead. Petrifying breath as often as you can have it happen because a diamond crystallises from its breath and falls to the floor. That's the key to get out. As soon as they pick up the diamond that it drops, an exit comes in every middle side. They are out, they are free. The Gorgon doesn't leave. And then, DMs, they are done with it. After entering the final sundial where they go through the hedge edges, they all appear at the foot of the tower. So they get teleported after the edge of the hedge to this place, the bottom of the tower, and there is the dead cultist that the wizard guy threw over the balcony. Let me know if this helps. It takes time and effort. I do enjoy it, but it's quite the task as well. I'm hoping this is benefiting you. I'm having some nice comments, don't get me wrong, and I'm doing my best. Anyway, see you in the next video. It does its petrifying from its breath,